Whether or not it's existential is a question that I think it's hard to answer. And I probably would lean against thinking in those terms. But could it be a beginning of a process that could really require substantial design changes throughout Meta's family of products? Yes. Could those changes potentially impact revenue and ultimately profits? Yes. So long term, this could change the way the company operates. I doubt if the financial harms and the remedies that will be, even if Meta loses consistently, and these are a huge number of cases, so there could be a lot of money. No, very few companies have the kind of money that Meta has. There's a lot of money they can come up with to pay off fines and judgments, and it may be multi-billions. But is it going to kill the company? Not even close. But it should change many things about the way it operates, because the trials are basically beginning to prove that they have made a series of very bad decisions.
It's interesting. This is a bipartisan issue. I noticed that we have attorneys general from both Democratic and Republican states are suing together. One of the very few areas of bipartisanship out there that suggests that this runs pretty deep, doesn't it?
Well, it does. And these issues all center around harms to teens.
Yep.
And Meta has lost a major case in New Mexico where they're now been asked to pay close to $1 billion in fines and other relief. They also lost a case in Los Angeles where one particular teen was able to prove that her mental health was severely harmed, and they were ordered to pay, I believe, $9 million, which is small. But the case that's coming to trial beginning today is the consolidation of, believe it or not, 3,100 cases. And it includes cases brought by 29 state attorneys general, a very large number of school districts from around the country, a bunch of parents who allege that their own children were harmed, as well as some Indian tribes, Native American tribes. And because they've lost in New Mexico and LA, if they lose in this case, which is not at all out of the question, it could then affect the either judgments or potential settlements of all 3,100 of those cases that are coming up in the wake of this, because it's meant to be what's called a bellwether trial. The idea being that the outcome of this case could help the plaintiffs and the defendant to decide whether they should settle and on what basis. So maybe, if Meta loses here, they would agree to settle a very large percentage of those 3,100 other cases. And in addition to this, there's about 1,000 cases that are coming to trial in a California case with the Los Angeles case was a sort of tip of the spear of, where sort of exemplary trials will occur that could affect the settlement or disposition of those 1,000 cases. So we have 4,000 plus suits against this company for harming teens. That's a serious problem.
That is. What is the companies saying about this legal situation for themselves?
Well, basically, they feel that it's all unfair, that the plaintiffs don't have standing to sue, that they've done a good job trying to solve these problems internally, which the evidence is likely to show is incorrect. And they have, the problem has been historically that Section 230 of the Communications Decency Act, which is a 1990s era law, basically exempts any kind of online service from liability for any content that's on their service. So cleverly, what's now happened, and all these cases show, is that the lawyers have figured out they don't want to focus on content at all. They're focusing on the design of the services. So they're saying the algorithms make these services addictive. And so it doesn't matter what the content is, the point being that Meta was negligent in the design of their services and did not pay attention to the impact that had on teenagers.